Hi everyone, welcome to Rising Voices, the podcast here on Liga La Justicia, Conexion Latina. Do you need a free consultation on any type of abogados? They speak Spanish, and with over 30 years of experience, Liga La Justicia es su abogado al rescate. If you have any problems or any questions, you can call them at 1-800-355-1234, or you can visit them at www.ligalajusticia.com. Today's topic is one that I have near and dear to my heart, and that topic is about community service. How can students get involved? How can also students, reach out for help when they need it? The topic of community service is mostly known during your junior year. Students get involved in many activities, clubs in their high school, or throughout their lifetime, they get involved in many different clubs. I remember when I was young, I am young, but I used to get involved with the Boy Scouts. The Boy Scouts are really a truly positive club that I was a part of, and that's where my initiative with community service began. But most importantly, I think it all comes with that sense of unity and the sense of giving back to your community of Long Island and communities throughout the world. But most importantly, how can we provide a movement for our younger generations? How can we also make a spot where students feel welcomed or students can get involved in something that they like to do? Something that goes along, especially, and this is a shout out to the Brentwood Public Library, they do an amazing program of community service outreach and most importantly, programs for all teens. But most importantly, the one that I really love is when they help out the shelters. And when we're talking about shelters, we're talking about the animal shelters. So in Brentwood, there's the Islip Animal Shelter. And students have the opportunity to knit beds to give that type of, sense of happiness for these animals. And that is really important because you are giving these animals these type of support, the type of love that they have never received, or even their first bed. That's a topic that really is hold near and dear to my heart because I think animals should be treated right and correctly. But most importantly, I think when it comes to topics like this, community service is not only about getting the hours and receiving them and putting them on a resume. It's about having a difference or an impact on someone's life. I think when I did my first project, and that was the Clean the Streets project with the Boy Scouts, I learned that I wanted to do this for a long term. And that's where I met, of course, my fellow volunteers and many different people who connected with me and who showed me that community service is more than just getting the hours. It's about creating a bond with people who have the same similarities as you. And the topic of community service is something that not only students can get involved, but people of all ages. Community service, most importantly, the Clean the Streets project that Uplift Our Towns does in Brentwood, is something that is really, really nice. And that's because once a year, we clean up the streets all across District 9, which is Brentwood, Central Islip, North Bayshore. And we clean up the train stations, any local areas where people or pedestrians walk, to make these streets clean and safe. But this is all youth doing it. It's not only youth, but it's the amazing organizers that put this event together. More than 30 organizations across Long Island come to this event because of the mission and the statement it has. It's more than the community service. It's about giving back. And it's about spreading a message of hope and happiness with a sense of also giving back to your community. I think another really big issue in our community is the lack of acceptance. Our students need to feel accepted when they come into an environment of community service. I always say that we need to accept all students, all youth, for who they are. And I say this in the sense where I believe as a rising voice in all of our communities, we need to find a space where we show positivity, but at the same time, we give hope to our younger generations to give back to their community, to ask for help when needed. And that is really important because our youth need to feel heard, they need to feel accepted, and they need to feel a sense of belonging. Especially when you're trying to do something good. I think at times people force you to do something that you don't want to do. But I'm about giving opportunities to students that even probably don't like an activity. And this comes to a story that I have that is really empowering. And that story is about a student who really never liked to do community service. But it's with the sense of connecting and having a bond with that young one that we can create a space where all students get involved, but at the same time, spread some love in our communities across Long Island and also give a chance for your voice to be heard. This is Rising Voices. We'll take a little short break. On the way back, we will continue this story on how students can get involved, but most importantly, how can you make a difference in someone's life with the help of community service. We'll be right back on Rising Voices, the podcast here on ConexcionLatina with your host, Andres Rodriguez. Hey everyone, this is Andres Rodriguez from the Rising Voices podcast here on ConexcionLatina. This episode and podcast is thanks to Liga de la Justicia Abogados. Do you need a free consultation? They speak Spanish and they have over 30 years of experience. Call them at 1-800-355-1234. This is 1-800-355-1234. That's Liga de la Justicia Abogados. Welcome back to Rising Voices here on Conexcion Latina. Back to the story we were talking about before, I think it's the bigger picture. I think especially when students are looking at a picture on their phone or taking a picture and smiling. It's more about what the student or the person feels inside than the smile they are actually portraying. I really think we have a strong message here in our world today, and it's the lack of division. We have a amount of division in our country right now, and I think with having that division, we feel at a space or we feel some type of way of, I don't know what I'm going to do, or I don't know how to feel involved, or I'm scared to get involved. And that comes with the story I'm going to tell you right now. This story comes from a student who never really liked doing community service. It came from a student that came from a household where he was always locked up in his room playing video games and not having that opportunity to go out and, experience the world and most importantly, help out. This student always loved playing video games. And as a community service project, I asked the student, I asked him, do you want to get involved? He's like, I don't like doing community service. I told him that let's find something that you like to do, that you can probably motivate young students or young people to get involved and to help out in your own way. He started talking to me about how he loves playing video games. So I spoke to him and I told him, if you like video games, let's set up a video game day that students can come out. Let's just say the student doesn't have a PlayStation or an Xbox. Let's find a way that we can bring those students to a public area where we can play video games, have fun, eat some pizza, eat some popcorn, drink some soda, and most importantly, connect with that young student to have a bigger picture. And I told this to the student because I think as young people, we need to show people how to motivate, right? I think in the classroom, our teachers show us how to motivate one another, how to empower one another, how to lift someone up when you don't have that opportunity or you don't know how to lift that person up. I think it comes with that sense of volunteer work where we feel at a place where we should be involved. We should give back to the student. And not only that, but give back to our community in the way we love doing. I'm more about that food insecurity on how helping the student and what way we can do it to give back. But also I'm there to tell the student, let's do something you like and let's have fun. Because I think our youth are really impactful and are really smart, and they have the opportunity to change lives, but they can start changing lives with something they love to do. Years later, I still talk to the student today. The student began being more involved with big organizations like Island Harvest, their food pantry, and most importantly, Long Island Food Cares. These are organizations here in Long Island that help out food insecurity and that give back to the students of our communities in ways that you could never imagine. I think looking at home countries, my parents come from Colombia, you see that they don't have those resources. They don't have the Long Island Cares. They don't have the Island Harvest. But when you see them receiving a pencil or something that is really small and to us is really nothing for us, we feel like it's nothing, but for them, you feel like it's Christmas Day. I think seeing the bigger picture of how can we value the things that we have at the moment, but not only that, but how can we provide a space where students feel accepted, feel heard, and do something that they love to do. And that comes to me going back to the home country that I cherish the most. And that was 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, I went to Colombia to start a mission. And the mission was to help out students. Because I think students in foreign countries, they think that they have everything. And, they think they have everything, but from our perspective, they don't have that much. And you're going to their country. I remember I have cousins who are teachers. And I went to their school one day. And seeing the way these students had fun, smiled at small gestures that you would do with them. I did a fun craft with them. It was around the holiday season, so I made snowflakes with them. And making that snowflake with them, it was more than just cutting the paper and making the figure of the snowflake. It was about spreading that joy of the students and of the youngsters that really don't have everything, and that you're doing something really nice, a kind gesture to them, by spreading some love, spreading some hope, but most importantly, telling the student, I'm there for you, or in Spanish, yo estoy ahí por usted. And I say it because I think we have to value more of what we have. We have to spread some kindness. We have to spread some love in the signs of division that we hold. Sometimes I think there's a lot of greed, and having that greed is really not okay, because I think that's where the madness comes in, and we need really at this moment throughout the world, and most importantly on a daily basis, we should be spreading love and kindness, because I think that's what we are here to promote. We are here to promote kindness. We are here at all times. We're not going to be at our best, but we're going to try to be our best and motivate the next generations to become the best version of themselves. And that goes to the students in Colombia. Hearing stories from my cousin still today on how these students are still talking about me, even though I went 2 years ago, is something that really is mesmerizing and inspiring to me, because I was just there with them for 2 hours. And in those 2 hours, they felt happy. They felt like they were in a place of belonging, and they felt that they received their Christmas present that day. I remember bringing notebooks and pencils and crayons to them and to the 30 students, and making that fun craft with them and learning English and telling them about my story here in Long Island, New York. I told them this story and they applauded. But they applauded, and I don't tell this story because I think it's to feel bad for them. I think it's to value what we have and to value what is coming. Because I think at times we take things for granted, but at the same time we have to be grateful for the things we have and for the people we are giving back to. This goes to the message to the kids in Colombia. You are doing the best you can. And just know that at the end of the day, if you need someone, I got your back. We're going to end this episode here today with a message. And the message that I will end every single day with, it's a positive message. Because I think young people have that vision, that voice, that inspiring perseverance to give back to their community. But most importantly, all of the youth, if you're out there, just know that you guys are the future. You are present. You are living in the present. And you have so much to give. Your ideas, your energy have the power to change the world in places you can't imagine. Just remember that if you ever need anything, go and look out for your dreams. I think students are blocked from those dreams that they have, and they feel like they don't have anyone by their side, or they feel like they don't have nothing. But I think we have to feel in a spot of acceptance. We have to feel at a spot of giving back, and we have to rise our voice to the limit and tell everyone that if you want to do a kind gesture, you can do it. And that's the message I leave with everyone, is that go out, have some fun, give back to your community, but most importantly, smile, be happy, be kind to one another, and most importantly, remember that everyone, we're going to have our ups and downs in life, but make sure that, especially on a daily basis, a good morning, a smile, a hug, a high five can just be the start of a new beginning for a friendship or relationship, or even better, a voice that will continue rising to the limit and continue giving back to your community in a positive way, in a loving way, but most importantly, in a kind way. This is Rising Voices here on ConexcionLatina. My name is Andres Rodriguez. Thank you so much.